Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream on Twitch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. If you're watching me live right now on my Twitch channel, I want to say hi. How you doing on this beautiful Saturday morning? Actually, it's not beautiful. It's overcast and looks like it's going to rain here in Australia. But morning. If you're watching this back on my YouTube channel, couldn't make it to today's live stream, then once again, hi. How's your dog? And thank you for watching. Welcome to the stream, Jericho. Morning, bro. He says. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, today's stream is proudly sponsored by, supported by, and supplied by the amazing Penguin Pop Games. Penguin Pop, get them in ya. And also Radlicker Games. Welcome. The Mermaid of Zennor. That's what this game is called, and let me tell you about it before we start. Once again, don't forget to come visit me over on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. That's Marbrolay, M-A-R-B-R-O-L-A-Y. Why not? Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you in advance. A dark journey into one girl's obsession. Enter the enchanting and dark world of The Mermaid of Zennor, a visual novel inspired by a classic fairy tale of the same name, but set in modern-day England. The tale is for those who find beauty in darkness, a story that will captivate you until the very end and touches on the adult themes of trauma, mental health, and obsession. Follow Lilac as she struggles to find hope in the miserable life, relying on her older brother Jesse. But her joy of Jesse's return for Christmas is short-lived when she learns of a strange and wicked enchantress who has ensnared, I think that's a word, I can't pronounce it, her brother's heart. As Lilac becomes consumed by her obsession to free Jesse, she gets consumed by the darkness, unraveling the depths of her own mind in this haunting tale. Okay, so the game includes a full print novel-length visual novel. So it's a big one, guys. Multiple choose-your-own-adventure endings, detailed character and background artwork, a fully custom ambient OST, soundtrack in other words, with over 20 tracks, a hefty dosage of NS, English, German, and Russian translations. So that's pretty cool. The release date was May 22nd, 2024, so just about a week ago. Single-player game. The Gene is an adventure visual novel. Once again, the amazing publisher is Penguin Pop Games. Check them out. Supported language English, German, Russian, and Spanish. It's available for the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. Today, guys, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. And let's jack the music back up and get into it. It's pretty loud, isn't it? Like, I think that went straight through me. Okay. Obviously, we've got that's the options we saw, the extras, the gallery. We haven't played the game yet, so we've got nothing in the gallery. Back to title. Let's start this one up. The Mermaid of Zennor. Now, once again, I am Australian, so if I pronounce anything wrong, I do apologise right now, but that's how it is. My name is Lilac, and I'm 13 years old. I have a short black hair and blue eyes. and I'm in love with my older brother. Well, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I live in a small village called Zennor, which is located on the north coast of Cornwall, down to the bottom corner of England. I always thought Zennor is a funny name. It sounds like Lenor, which is a type of fabric conditioner Mum uses when she washes my clothes. In school last week for my English project, my class had to research their homes and write reports about them. I learnt that alphabetically, Zennor comes last on the list of parishes in Britain. Zennor is also a very tiny village. About 200 people live here. It really is that small. We don't have any proper shops, and we don't have any cinemas. We don't have any restaurants. We do have a church though. It is an old-fashioned stone building with wooden pews. The church in Zennor is a bit famous actually. There's an old carving of a mermaid in one of the paws. Is it paws or pews? Pews that dates back to the 15th century. I'm not going to pronounce that name. The mermaid was called Morveren. Yeah, we'll go with that. And she fell in love with a human man called Matthew. The people of Zennor were very close-minded back then, and they hated mermaids. They thought they were monsters. Morveren was scared Matthew would be hurt if he stayed with her. She loved Matthew. Is it Matthew? Yeah, I'm going with that. And she was willing to leave him, and that would keep him safe. Matthew loved Morveren just as much as she loved him. However, to such an extent, they abandoned Zennor and went to live in the bottom of the ocean with her. She drowned? I don't know. I think about that story a lot. Sometimes I think I am like Morveren, but the stories say that she was very beautiful, and I am not. I don't have a tail of a fish, but my classmates think I'm weird, and I'm also in love with someone I can't be with. When I am not thinking about mermaids, I'm usually thinking about my brother. I think of my brother a lot. I have always thought about him, but I have always been thinking about more than usual lately. My brother doesn't live with me and my dad and my mum, who is not his mother anymore. He lives in London and he goes to university there. He's a lot older than me. I'm only 13 and my brother is 19. His name is Jesse and he has black hair, blue eyes, and is very tall. We have the same hair and eye colour, but I don't think we look much alike. Jesse is always smiling. Why? I always look sad. Jesse isn't my full brother. He is my father's son, but his mother died before I was born. I think Dad is still sad that his old wife died, though he's happy. It happened 15 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if he still loves her. When Dad talks about her, which isn't very often, he sounds very soft and gentle and undad-like. He says her name, Tegan, like it's some kind of charm or magical spell. Maybe that is why Dad isn't very nice to me and my mother. It's because my mother is not Jesse's mother, and I'm not Jesse's real sister. I'm just a half-blood. Harry Potter, he strikes again. Half-formed maybe, like Morveren, with a human torso and a fish tail. I sometimes wish I was a mermaid. Then I would have nice singing voice, and it would be beautiful, and I could live in the water, and I wouldn't have to go to school. Then I remind myself that if I was a mermaid, I wouldn't be Jesse's sister, and I wouldn't know each other. We would know each other, and he wouldn't love me, and I wouldn't love him. And what would be the point of that? Jesse is the only person who makes me happy. Without him, my life would be meaningless. And it's been 2 months since Jesse went away to university, and I miss him a lot. He said he would call me every single day. He promised, and I believed him because Jesse always keeps his promises. Jesse is a good person. That is why everyone likes him. That is why I love him. But he hasn't called me nearly often as he said he would. I wonder what he's doing right now. I don't know what it's like in London is like. I can't imagine it. I've never been to the city before, unless you count Penassi. I can't pronounce that, sorry. Zancy. I don't know it's a place, but I can't pronounce it. And I don't think it's nearly as big as London. I've seen pictures of London on the internet. I know what London Eye looks like, and the House of Parliament and Big Ben. There are lots of old, tall buildings made of stone in London, and lots of new, modern buildings made of glass. It looks busy, the pavements are dirty, and it's full of people. I don't think I would like to live in London. The soundtrack music in the background, it makes me cold. I'm getting goosebumps just listening to it. It's cool though, it's very cool. I don't like living in Zennor much either, because it's tiny and I don't have any friends except Jesse. But he is not here anymore. He is in London, and I am in Zennor, and I promised that I would call me every day, but he hasn't. How do I know if he's alright? What if he's been hurt? Thoughts like that keep me awake at night, all night. I've been feeling scared a lot lately. Sometimes I feel so scared I can't eat, but I don't mind that much, as I've never liked eating. If I've lost weight, my dad has not commented on it. I don't think he cares about me. My counsellor at school, Mrs. does. Okay, changing images. Okay, so we're looking pretty depressed, aren't we? Here's a bit of a smile on her face, this one. I went to see Mrs. Can't pronounce her name, K. Mrs. K in her office after school for a chat last week. She asked me how things were at home and how my parents have been treating me and how I was feeling. I think Mrs. K feels sorry for me because my family is poor and my school uniform is never ironed and my school shoes are always dirty. Well, you can still clean your school shoes, you just give them a wipe down. I feel sorry for me too, but not because of my dirty clothes. I feel sorry for me because Jesse is not here. I told Mrs. K I'm having trouble sleeping and eating because I'm missing my brother. And she nodded and said, "Oh, Jesse, I remember him. He was a sweet boy." No, I said stiffly, because I didn't like this tone of his voice. He's still a sweet boy. He isn't dead. Oh, of course not. I was trying to imply that, Mrs. K replied. That's why you were talking about him in the past tense, I asked. I stared at Mrs. K challengingly, and she looked embarrassed and apologised for hurting my feelings. This made me feel a bit better, but only a bit. Mrs. K has worked at my school for a long time, and she knows Jesse. He used to go to this school too, before he went to London. After a little dispute, Mrs. K calls them hiccups. Mrs. K asked me how Jesse was doing, and I told her I didn't know because I haven't called him that often, even though I was worried about him. The more I talked about Jesse, the worse I felt. I started to cry. Mrs. K had to hand me a tissue to ask me to calm down. I did try to calm down, I swear I did, but my shoulders kept shaking and my eyes stung. I told Mrs. K I was afraid Jesse might have gotten lost in London because it's so big, or maybe he had been stabbed or killed. That's a way of thinking, isn't it? Mrs. K patted me on the back and said she didn't think Jesse had been killed, because if the police would have called my family, they would know about it. Then why hasn't Jesse called me? I asked. Mrs. K frowned. I'm just sure he's having fun. London's a lot bigger than the towns in Cornwall, and there's so much to do. He's probably trying to take in all the sights, Mrs. K said. Does that mean he's forgotten about me? I asked. Oh no, Lilac. I don't think Jesse has forgotten about you. You're a very individual child. I thought that was a stupid thing to say because everyone is individual, but I didn't tell Mrs. K that because I knew she was trying to be nice. She is one of those people, she's the only people that I know who aren't bothers trying. Jesse's growing up and living his own life, that's all. It is normal for children to branch away from their families that have getting older. But I'm sure he'll keep in touch, Mrs. K told me. And you don't think he's lost? I asked Mrs. K seriously because I wanted to make sure. I thought it was a sensible question, but Mrs. K laughed like I told a joke. I wish she wouldn't do that. She should know by now that I don't tell jokes. I'm sure he isn't lost, Lilac. Your brother has a good head on his shoulders. He'll be fine, she said. And she sounded so convinced, I was almost convinced too. Not much colour in the game, is there? It's very cold. It's a very cold atmosphere at the moment. No colour. Well, there is colour, but it's a cold colour, isn't there? I suppose this means that Jesse isn't lost and he hasn't been stabbed, and he's just in London enjoying himself. He is living his own life. That should make me feel. That should make me feel happy, but it doesn't. It makes me feel worse than ever. If Jesse isn't lost and he isn't sick and he's in trouble, then he hasn't called me in so long. Has no excuse. I am his sister. I might not be his full sister, but we were raised together, and I love him, and I thought he loved me. I thought I was important to him. I thought I mattered. Why has he abandoned me? Why is he ignoring me? Does he know how much I love him? If I keep spending my nights wide awake, staring at the ceiling, the bags beneath my eyes will grow darker and darker, like bruises, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing seems to matter without Jesse. I thought he was Jesse's girl. Bit of colour now, guys. Got an achievement. What do we got? 60 Gs? Another day. Lilac struggles through another day of motionless day. So that's the achievement. First achievement on the Xbox. I hate taking the bus to school. I hate taking the bus to school more than I hate school itself. I hate school a lot. I go to St. Ivy's school, and St. Ivy's isn't. It isn't. As Mrs. Lambert would say, in the studios of Here's a very original name. I used to go to Trithel Primary, which wasn't so bad because the teachers were nice to me and I didn't get picked on as much. But now I go to St. Ivy's school and it is horrible. I hate the uniforms and I hate the school dinners and I hate most of the teachers, but I hate my classmates more than I have to put all together. I don't know why they even call classmates. They're not my mates. I get teased a lot in class, but it isn't that bad because Aselin is there to look out for me. The teasing is much, much worse on the bus to and from school, but Aselin, I think that's how you pronounce it, is not there, and I'm all on my own. I am met with the whispers the moment I step on the bus. The main bullies are called Isa and Phoebe. What's her name? Is it Phoebe? Yeah, Phoebe and Lucy and Megan. And they're all in the year 9 like me. I hate them. I think they hate me too, but I don't know why. I have never done anything to them, other than exist. Just look at her, says Megan. Why are they trying to find a seat? She's getting skinnier by the day. She don't think she's anorexic, do you? Asked Isla. Of course not. She's just looking for attention, like always, says Lucy. Her clothes look so shabby, and look at her hair. It's all matted and greasy, says Phoebe. Does she even shower? She stinks, says Megan. Shh, she'll hear you, says Isla. Good, I wanted to hear us. Maybe she'll start taking better care of herself, says Lucy. Isn't she ashamed to go outside looking like that, says Phoebe. Maybe she's too retarded to know what shame is, says Megan. And then they all laugh. Even Isla. She's probably the nicest of the four. Isla's in my English class, and once she let me borrow a pencil while I lost mine. She didn't pull a face when I took the pencil from her, and she even smiled at me. She isn't smiling now, though. I slumped down in my seat and rested my cheeks against the window. It feels cool and relaxing against my face. I look at my reflection in the window. The windows of the bus are dirty and the lilac who looks back at me is distorted. Her revealed face is grinnier than mine. The sleeves of my blazer is grimy too, and it smells of bacon fat. I helped my mother making breakfast this morning, and the oil splattered down my front. I didn't have enough time to change it. I thought my mother would thank me for helping her, but she didn't. She just sighed and stuttered, and I said I was clumsy. I licked my fingertip and started scrubbing on the spot of the grease, but it doesn't budge. I don't know what I was expecting. She's not saying anything, murmurs Lucy. Do you think she's crying? Asks Isla. Why don't you cry, Lilac? It might be cleaning your dirty face, says Megan. Oh, what a bitch! Hey, what a bitch! I don't feel like crying, so I don't. I wouldn't bother shedding tears over these idiots. Instead, I fantasize about taking a long, sharp knife and slitting Megan's throat. Now we're getting somewhere. Wow, it's getting creepy. She would probably bleed a lot if I did that. There's always a lot of blood when you cut someone's throat. Don't you just normally die? The throat is one of the most vital places of a human's body. And it's easy to aim for than the heart, which is protected by ribs. I think about stabbing Phoebe and Lucy and Megan, and then sometimes Isla quite a lot. Is that Mrs. K would call therapeutic? Therapeutic, sorry? I don't think she would approve of this so-called coping method, though. Mrs. K told me when people tease me, I should count to 10 inside my head and try to picture a technique lake, a train curie. I can't pronounce it, so I know what it is. Train curie. Who cares? Like, but they never seem to work. I'll be thinking about that word all day now. I know I've said it before. Today, being a Saturday and being Australian, I can't. It definitely does not. It definitely does not stop me from being bullied. It is completely pointless. I really can't stand that girl. She's so freaky, says Lucy. She always stares at me too, with a creepy look on the face, says Phoebe. Gross, says Lucy. And she smells, says Megan. Hey, Lilac, did you hear that? You smell, says Megan. You can at least brush your teeth, you know, says Phoebe. Hey, since you're feeling generous, why don't you take this, says Megan. But she does not say it, she shouts it. A scrunched up ball of foil and paper flies down the length of the bus and lands in my lap. It's a very light projectile, and it doesn't hurt, but it still takes me by surprise. I pick it up and unfold it, smoothing at the ruffled creases beneath my fingertips. It is wrapped from the package of spearmint gum. Somebody must have chucked it. I'm used to that. People throw things at me a lot. Chewing gum wrapped in not worth worrying about. I have had much larger objects thrown in my direction before. The boys usually throw usually more daring than the girls. PE bags are rather common. But so are footballs and bottles of soda. I was once hit in the head by a soda bottle. The top must have been screwed on loosely because it fell off and I was soaked from head to foot with sticky liquid. All the boys and girls laughed. The bus driver did not laugh. He glared at us in the rearview mirror and said, I hope one of you are going to stay behind and clean up the mess, or I'll be having a strict word with your parents. He seemed to be so concerned about my welfare. He was more alarmed about the seats of the precious bus were getting ugly anyway. I crumbled the chewing gum wrapper up on my fingers and stashed it inside my pocket. Now, what do I say? What do you think us, says Lucy. As if she never speaks to us, says Megan. But doesn't stop her from staring, says Phoebe. What a weirdo, scoffs Lucy. It's no wonder her brother left her, says Vegan. And she laughs. And then she laughs. My fingers tighten into the fist of my lap. The motions of the school bus knock my head against the window. I don't care what the bullies say about my parents, but I do care what they say about my brother. I care about Jessie more than I care about anyone else in the world. How could they even hope to understand a love like mine? I could try to explain it, but I don't know if that would help. Not help. My bullies are too stupid and simply narrow-minded to know what love is. They don't know anything, and they're wrong about what they say I smell. I do not. Not deliberately, at least. Hey, Lilac, aren't you going to say anything? Are you dumb, says Lucy or Megan, or Phoebe or Isla? But at this point, I cannot tell them apart. I wish they would all shut up. She never tries to defend herself. She's such a weirdo. Maybe she's too retarded to understand what they're saying. Why does she have to go to school anyway? Aren't these special schools for people like her? I'm sick or tired of seeing her every day. She's so depressing. Do you think she knows she's a weirdo? How can she not know? She's so obvious. I fold my arms on my chest and look out the window. The scenery speeds past. It goes by quickly, but it's not quick enough. I wish the bus driver would just drive and drive and drive until the calm world became a blur and everything around me disappeared. All the mocking laughter, all the cruel insults, all the nasty names, everything. I wouldn't mind if the driver put his foot down and accelerated and drove the bus right at the side of a cliff. Everyone would die. All the people who are mean to me, all the people that aren't mean to me, but who sat there quietly while I was being bullied without defending me. Sometimes I think people are even worse than the bullies, and the bus driver is the worst of them all. He is supposed to be an adult, but he lets the classmates tease me without saying a word. Maybe he doesn't want to start a scene. Maybe he doesn't think it was worth it. Maybe he doesn't think I'm worth it. I am less than human to him. I must be less than human to others, or they wouldn't treat me like this. Who was being insulted by harsh and called names? Harassed, sorry. Mrs. K seems to be the bullying. Think this bullying would stop if I remember to say please and thank you, but I think it's deluded. I don't always know how to respond or appropriate to social situations, but I think a cut-off, piss off, would just justify my case. Swearing does not stop the bullying either. No, I've already tried it. This particular is how I ended up in that counselor in the first place. Now, none of my bullies have to speak to Mrs. K. It's only me because I have a problem child. Sometimes I'm waiting my teachers and my parents and my bullies are a real problem to contend with. What if I really did stab someone? Then they would be sorry. Couldn't you get that one out then? I wouldn't be sorry though, because bullies do not deserve to live. That is why, in fairy stories, the wicked witches are always made to wear red hot shoes and thrown off cliffs. In my life, it's like a fairy story. The boys and girls would have to die a long time ago. Okay, she's a colourful little girl, isn't she? Okay, another achievement. 80 G's, a friendly face. Lilac passes time with Cillian. Can't pronounce her name. Do apologise. When I step into the classroom this morning, 10 minutes before it starts, I'm greeted by my friend, Aslan. Well, Aslan thinks she's my friend. I'm not sure about that. Aslan is a cheerful girl with a blonde hair and brown eyes. She has pierced ears and paints her nails. And her school bag is a fluffy pom-pom keychain hanging from a zipper. She is very soft and sweet. She smells soft and sweet too. I know this because sometimes she stands too close to me and I can smell her. Her birthday is in October, which is right near the beginning of the school term. She is 14, which makes her older than me, though she's not acted. I don't know why Aslan wants to be my friend. We don't have anything in common. My hair is dark, her is blonde. My eyes are blue, but hers are brown. She smiles a lot. She is talkative, and most people like her. I am quiet and a former teacher. My Penrose, Mr. Penrose says I look sullen, skulky most of the time, and nobody likes me. I don't understand why Aslan is so cheerful. To be honest, it gets on my nerves. I try to put up with her because I didn't have Aslan, I wouldn't have anybody, and then my school would really be unbearable. I don't think of being two-faced. I am being tactical, and military commands would agree with my strategy. I think school is more dangerous than the battlefield. Hey Lilac, how you doing? Aslan says. I'm fine, I say after I pause. I didn't get much sleep last night. I feel tired, and the sleeve of my school uniform is spotted with bacon fat. I got teased on the bus on the way to school, but these are the common occurrences. I'm used to them, and I don't really bother me. Aslan nonsense doesn't bother her, however. Are you sure you're fine? Aslan asks. I know I'm so stupid I can't understand my own emotions, let alone anyone else's. You look tired. I woke up early. I helped my mother make breakfast, I say. It's nice to want to help my mother, but she shouldn't look after yourself first, Aslan asks. I don't mind, I tell her. For the must be the dozenth time. Jesse used to help with when I was at home, but he is at university, so I have to help instead. Couldn't your father do it? He doesn't seem fair that you should work so hard. You're only 13, Aslan exclaims. Life isn't fair, I say. I put my bag on my lap and open it. I remove my planner and pencil case and arrange them neatly on my desk. I like things being neat and tidy. Sorry guys, just got a text to send a reply to it. I do apologise. I hope Ashley might get an idea of leaving me alone. And she doesn't. She never does. Instead, she looks at me and frowns. Hey, Lilac, Ashlyn, did you eat any breakfast today? I shake my head. Why does she care? Weren't you hungry, she asked. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry too. I shake my head again. Well, isn't it a good thing I stopped at the supermarket on my way to school, Ashlyn says. But she doesn't really say it. Ashlyn has a lighted voice, and she often sounds like she's singing. Ashlyn digs into her school bag, which is very pink and cute, and produces a slightly squished ice finger, which is wrapped in a plastic bag. The ice finger is popped in a pink icing. What's going on now? Sorry guys, my chat just turned off. Okay, it's back. If anyone said anything, I do apologise. I had to reset it. An ice finger is popped in a pink icing, and some of the icing has smeared onto the sides of the bag. It does not look very appetising. Is that for me? I asked. I was saving it for breakfast, but I've already had two. Ashlyn asked. You should have the last one. You need it more than I do. I want to turn it down, but Mrs. K always telling me I should be nicer to Ashlyn. Thank you, I say. I thought I don't feel very thankful. She kind of looks like Wednesday, doesn't she? If I had her hair tied back like Wednesday from Addams Family, like she's got that look to her, eh? Some people might say it's sexy, but you know, we're not going to go there. She's only 13, but she's got that Wednesday look. I was Ashlyn hadn't bought me anything at all, but I suppose it's the thought that counts. That is what Mrs. K tells me. I accept the pink ice finger from Ashlyn and unwrap it. The school plastic crinkles beneath my fingers. I bring the pink ice finger to my lips slowly, open my mouth, and take a tiny bite out of the end. I haven't had one of these ice buns for quite some time. The last time I had one was really nice. Like I devoured it in like a second. I eat very, very slow, which annoys Dad. He has shouted at me for eating habits before. He said I'm wasting good food, and I was going to be cold, and I didn't think I was too bloody good to eat the same meals as everyone else. Did I want to be treated like a queen? I didn't want to be treated like anything. I just want to be left alone. So Ashlyn says, what do you think? Is it good? It's fine, I tell her, because it isn't good, and I want to lie, but I don't want to hurt her feelings either. I don't think I'm making any progress. Mrs. K would be proud of me. Well, good, Ashlyn, with a bright smile on my face. You better finish it before class starts. I do my best. I say doubtfully, because this is really a lot of icing on the ice finger, and I don't like sweets very much. I like it really icy, because if they're not, it gets doughy. I don't like food much in general. I don't like food! Imagine that, not liking food. Everyone's got to eat, so you got to like food, don't you? It's messy and it gets everywhere, just like the spout of grease on my shirt. Some food doesn't get messy. Like sushi's not messy, is it? No, it's not. So Lilac, Ashlyn says again, how is your big brother? Have you heard from him at all? I look at the ice finger, which is very pink in the Ashlyn school bag, and frown. When Ashlyn is fussing over me, she's asking questions about Jessie. Ashlyn used to sit next to me in the form room every year. Ashlyn used to sit next to me in our form room in year 7. But she did not pay any attention for the first month or so. She was busy talking to other girls mostly about TV shows and music and other things I've never cared about. Then one day, Jesse came into the classmate and talked to me. He had forgotten whose pencil case, and he wanted to borrow some of the stationery. Jesse's a handsome, unlike me, and the girls in my class were interested in him. They asked me who he is and why, and they was talking to me and how I knew him. Ashlyn was the most curious of them all. I knew it was Jesse's girl. Yeah, that's a song, but I don't know the other words. I told them he was my brother from my garage. They looked at me frowning and said, "Really?" I was like a lying, and they said, "He doesn't look like you very much." I know that he doesn't look like me, so I didn't say anything. That's what. There was nothing else to say. I just turned my head and stared out the window. I thought that would be the end of things. But ever since the day, Ashlyn has been determined to be my friend. She wants to be. She wants to get with my brother Jesse. Some of my classmates think Ashlyn acts nice to me because she pities me. Some of my class think she's acting to me because the headmaster asked her to. I think she acts to me because she always has a crush on my brother. Nobody believes Ashlyn acts nice to me because she actually likes me, apart from maybe Ashlyn herself. She has been to my house for sleepovers a few times. She insisted. She spent most of the time asking questions about Jesse, which I didn't like. I liked it even less when Jessie smiled at her at the breakfast table or in the following day, and played along with her jokes and said her earrings looked cute. And on that note, guys, we're gonna save it up. There we go, and we're gonna venture back to the title. Check out the options, or not the extras, see if we unlocked anything today. In the gallery, did we unlock anything? No, we didn't. That's okay. So, The Mermaid of Zennor. Just recently got released. What do we think about it? Oh, it's kind of dark and depressing at the moment, eh? We played it for like 30 odd minutes, and it's very easy to read. I'll give it that. A couple of hard words, well, for me anyway, but it's very easy to read. Text is nice size, but got nice kind of soundtrack in the background. But it's kind of depressing. I actually got goosebumps just by some of the soundtrack, and the actual scenes made me cold. Not depressed, but cold. It's got that cold feel to it. But actually, like the main character, Lilac, she is a bit of a depressing girl, so it kind of rubs off on you. But I kind of like the game. It's a good visual novel. Good if you're starting out in visual novels, guys. This is a good one to pick up. It's available for the Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Go and get it. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Quite enjoyed it. I'd like to thank everyone for calling past my Twitch channel, watching me live right now. But if you didn't, and you're watching this back on my YouTube channel, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It is free and takes 1 second of your time. And I thank you in advance. Come visit me over on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. That's Marbrolay, MARBROLAY. Why not? Once again, make sure you take care of yourselves and ones you love. Don't forget to feed your pets. Remember, the name's Marbrolay. Say hi to your dog for me. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.